I'm Jenny Taft with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Should I even ask how you guys are doing? Shannon celebrating Skip. Said he was spreading today. Can the show go on?
It's a beautiful morning, Jenny. It's a beautiful morning.
Beautiful morning.
I got a great night's sleep. Jamal Murray, Yoke, they did their thing, Skip. Ooh, how you doing, Skip?
I'm not here.
Yo, yeah, you here. You right here. You right
I'm
across
not doing the show.
Well, you know what?
You can do it by yourself.
No. Snoop sent me a little something for you. Say, but give Skip one of these. It'll calm him down, and everything will be okay in about 15, 20 minutes.
I need one of those little things that get you up.
Oh, no, I ain't got none of this. This right here ain't gonna get you. This right, none of this will get you up. You will think you up, but you really down. Hey, Skip, how you doing?
I'm doing terrible. How are you?
Why are you doing terrible?
At least he's honest about it.
Because
Is this the
LeBron
first?
just won his fourth ring. I can't believe what I just saw.
This is not about LeBron. We're not talking about LeBron.
I can't believe it.
I can't.
I just had to get turned into a Nuggets fan. Who would have ever seen it coming? I'm now a Nuggets fan.
Really, Skip?
I don't know what to do with myself.
Really? Is that where we going?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never
I cannot believe you, Skip. I can't believe you would do
off
that.
the top of a show. That is a first ever, I think, for Undisputed. And since you mentioned being a Denver fan, Skip, let's talk about what exactly they did to your Clippers last night. The Nuggets made NBA history, becoming the first team to ever come back and win a series down 3-1 twice in the same postseason. Kawhi, who went 6 of 22 from the floor for 14 points, and the Clippers were left stunned as their championship aspirations were cut short of even a conference finals appearance. Paul George didn't help matters with only 10 points on 4 of 16 shooting last night. So, Shannon, I start with you. What's the biggest reason for the Clippers' collapse?
One name, 2 words, Kawhi Leonard. This is not about, Skip Bayless tells me, this is not about complimentary superstars. This is not about auxiliary players. This is about your stars. This is about a superstar. This is about the best player in the NBA, which he's never been. But people got so mad at LeBron. They get so tired of talking about LeBron.
People do?
Yes.
Who?
Yes, everybody. You know him.
There are 9 billion blind witnesses. The
No,
world is blind.
No, we're talking about analysts. We're talking about analysts. They've been trying to give this guy the mantle, the pedestal for the last 3 to 4 years. Although he's never won a regular season MVP, he's never been the best player in the NBA. He won 2 finals MVP. But was he the guy? This was a Tim Duncan, this was Manu, this was Tony Parker's team. He came in the background, he won. He went to Toronto. There was no expectations. They were not the favorite. Now, instead of being the hunter, you're the hunted. Yep. Let me tell you what Kawhi Leonard did. As the best player in the world, he just blew a 3-1 lead, and in all the games, he had a double-digit lead. If you're the best player on the planet, that cannot happen. 2 points, Skip. Can I interest you in 2 points in the second half on 1 for 11 shooting?
Wow!
And he was flailing away. He was crying. And before I get this, I want to make sure I get this. Let's get it in here, Skip.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, Cancun. You remember how Paul George and Pat Bev was yakking at Dame Lillard? Oh, you going? You packing? You mean to tell me they're about to go into luxury tax? They gave up their future. 2022, 2024, 2026, 23, 25. You got swaps. To go 1 extra round? To go 1 extra round. That's what it did. They can't even get to the Western Conference Finals.
Nope. Because
your guy, the guy that many said is the best player on the planet, gagged. He choked. There's no other way around it. It's the greatest choke job in NBA history. I defy you to find me another superstar that had a 3-1 lead and gagged like Kawhi Leonard did. He gagged. I told you, sometimes a man can make his destiny on the very road he took to avoid it. DJ, can you drop that track? Because I want to narrate over it. Because, Jenny, I know you remember opening night.
Jenny's not here.
Jenny's not here? Okay. But anyway, Skip Bayless, are you here? Opening night, something transpired. Boom! It detonated like that earthquake that happened in July. He shocked the conscience of America. He did this. Whoa. It's not your turn to talk. Let me talk. I'm narrating over this. Yeah, you can see this down in the background as I'm talking. You see a little keychain dangling. He pulls up in his 6'4". He riding low. Oh, Kawhi Town. He exit Kawhi Avenue. Oh, this is new Kawhi. Kawhi. He's never, ever going to live this down. He gagged 3-1, and he choked them off, Skip. You mean to tell me you could only get me 2 points, and you couldn't stop? Hold on. A team full of dogs. Nobody can lock in like these guys. And there go Doc using that again, that energy, and they've been playing together. I'm done with the excuses. There is no excuse for this. Or when Pat Bev, when Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are on the floor, they're 11-0. And then they were 11-1. And then it was 13-1. And y'all, nobody can beat them. Oh, no one can beat this team. The Nuggets spotted them 2 games and walked them. Skip Bayless, this is embarrassing. I told you nothing will kill a legacy more than expectation because that's what he had. He wanted Paul George. I bet he wish he had Kyle Lowry now. I bet he had Pascal Siakam now. This is utterly ridiculous. This is embarrassing. Kawhi Leonard shot 27% in the fourth quarter in these series. Is that good? No. Now, everybody, hold on. Where are those next-gen stats that says Kawhi Leonard is the best closer in basketball? What does this say about you? Skip, you read it. You read those stats.
That's not my stat.
You read it.
I did not read it. Our producer read it to you.
No,
we did not do it on the show.
No.
I defy you to go find where I.
You mentioned it. Did you mention it?
I don't believe it. If I brought it up, it's because I don't buy it.
No,
I've never told you he was a closer. I've always told you he's not a closer. Don't put words in my mouth.
Hold on. I thought he was a shutdown defender, though. You told me he's the best defender in basketball? LeBron James is not even close to Kawhi Leonard.
Well, he wasn't. You told me LeBron quit playing defense 3 years ago.
No, I didn't say he quit playing defense. I say he don't devote that kind of energy because he's asked to do even more offensively.
Well, same for this guy.
Whoa.
This guy became the whole offense and nothing but.
Whoa. So that's why they got 83 points on. But anyway, neither here nor there. Skip, I want to know, when Jamal Murray starts cooking, he can't stop that. Says, you know what, guys? Paul George, other guys, y'all take the offensive end. It's on me. It's incumbent on me to shut Jamal Murray down. Okay, now he tried to do something with Yoke. Yoke had his way with him. Skip, you see these numbers? You look at what they got. They got 14 from Grant. They got 16, 22, and 13 from Yoke. They got 14 from Harris. They got 40 from Jamal Murray. So I'm trying to figure, who is he guarding? So the Clippers playing with 4. And then Paul George. Skip, before I'm going to turn it over to you, Paul George. This is what Paul George did in series ending elimination games. Last night, he was 4 of 16. What Paul George have? Paul George, 10 points, 4 of 16. Series ending loss in Utah 2019, 3 of 14. Season ending loss at Utah 2018, 2 for 16. Season ending loss, elimination game against Cleveland, 5 of 21.
Always.
Wow.
What do I call him? Help me out. What do I always call him?
Ooh.
George Paul. Don't I call him that?
Well, he
turns into George Paul.
Jamal Murray outscored Kawhi, PG, and Lou Will 40-31. There's no other way. Doc Rivers gagged, Kawhi, Paul George.
Rivers gagged, said Shannon Sharpe.
Hold on. Who's lost more 3-1 leads?
Doc.
Okay, then. Who has more Game 7 losses than any other coach in NBA history?
Who has the second most Game 7 wins in NBA history to Red Auerbach?
Whoa.
Doc.
Whoa. Second most. Who has the most L's? The most L's.
6 and 8.
Skip. The man has blown 3-1 deficit. You remember in Orlando, Skip?
I do.
Had Tracy McGrady. Tracy McGrady said it's going to be so great to go to the second round, up 3-1. Boom. Skip Bayless, this is the ultimate choke job, and I want to see you wiggle this one. But somehow, I'm going to see you wiggle way out of this. So go ahead.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You better put your seatbelt on because I'm about to just destroy most of what you just said.
You can't, because they're not going to the playoffs. You can't. They're going no further. You can't destroy anything.
Just for the record, the all-time greatest choke job we have ever seen in the history of this sport happened to your man, LeBron James, in the 2011 finals.
Say it again.
He was up 2-1.
Say it again with your chest out.
And he made a list, according to my friend Stephen A. Smith. He reported that LeBron went back to the hotel in Dallas, Texas, and made a list of I told you so's, and I was at the top of the list. First I'm going to tell so is Skip Bayless.
Okay.
And then what happened? He melted down the way we've never seen any superstar in the history of the NBA melt down, okay, in games 4, 5, and 6.
Okay.
He disappeared, and he had just joined forces with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh because they were going to dominate the Dallas Mavericks and win LeBron his first ring, and it did not happen because of LeBron James, who was widely acknowledged as the best player on the planet by then for sure. Okay? So nobody ever said that Kawhi Leonard was the best player on the planet. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, they have. Yes, they have.
Have I ever said that?
Charles Barkley has said it. All those guys on ESPN from Jalen Rose, all of them have said it. Don't do that, Skip. Don't try to do it because he choked now.
All I've ever heard is he's the best two-way player because for a while he was the best defensive player. And he did win a Defensive Player of the Year.
He won 2 of them.
Okay, well, what I'm saying is once he broke through and won the first one, then people started saying, wait a second, he can score and he can really defend, so he's the best two-way player because at that point in LeBron's career, he was starting not to focus on the defensive end of the floor. So best two-way player, but I don't know anybody who really said he's the greatest player on the planet.
Internet, do your thing. I need you to get those quotes, put them in my inbox, and we'll try to get them up some point during the show. Go ahead, Skip.
I never said that. Okay, now back to the larger point here. I have been covering the National Basketball Association for the longest time. I started with Kareem's Lakers here in L.A. in 1976. So it's a long time. I've seen a lot of playoff basketball in my day. In all my time, I have never seen a team collapse the way the Clippers collapsed. I've seen lots of back and forth seesaw battles where the underdog finally wound up winning Game 7 and shocking the prohibitive favorite.
Right.
But those games go back and forth, where they take turns blowing each other out and embarrassing each other. Did the Clippers ever get blown out by the Nuggets from wire to wire? No. Did the Nuggets ever come out and just take over a game and you said, man, tonight was just the Nuggets' night? No, it didn't happen. The odds makers kept saying Clippers. They indicted the Clippers because they kept saying you are clearly better than the other team because for the first 6 games, they were 8.5-point favorites. Last night, they were 7.5.
7.5.
So the point is that Las Vegas is saying you are clearly better than the other team. And in each of the closeout games, obviously games 5, 6, and 7, they showed you for stretches, really long stretches of the game, they were the superior basketball team because they led the first game 5 last Friday night. They were up by 19. Game 6, they were up by 16. And last night, with 4 minutes left in the first half, they were up by 12. So they kept showing you, we're this good, and we're this good.
Right.
And then what happened? They utterly got devastated and blown off the floor by a team that psychologically owned them in all the moments that mattered. The Denver Nuggets snatched their heart, and then they snatched their soul.
But, Skip, you told me they were the most mentally toughest team. That's why they were going to beat the Lakers.
I agree that it wasn't just me. I heard it from all the analysts.
Who said it?
Everybody, starting with our Chris Broussard, who's going to join us. He was the first to say on this show, the Clippers just got too many dogs. And we're talking about mentally tough dogs.
Yes.
And for 3 straight fourth quarters, they turned into nothing but choking dogs.
Yes.
They turned back into the sorry, laughingstock, belong in the basement Clippers.
Yes.
That everybody in L.A. ridicules and laughs at. And last night, they were even worse than the old worst Clippers.
Even you returned them to the basement. You told them to go back to the basement.
Go back to the basement where you belong. Because all year long, they were often the favorite to win the whole championship.
Yes.
Going into the bubble, I think they were co-favorites with the Lakers to win it all. So it's not like they were sort of a mid-rung. No, they were the favorite.
Right.
Okay, so now, what do I believe happened here? Well, here's what Kawhi Leonard did for the 7 games, just to refute your point. He led this team in scoring. He led this team in rebounding. He led this team in assists. Is that good?
Yeah.
He led this team in steals. And he led this team in block shots. That's for 7 games. He put up numbers that even LeBron doesn't usually put up because he went all the way across the stat line and led his team in every category.
Yes.
And he shot 36% from three for the 7 games, which for his standards, he's not a great three-point shooter. Not bad. He shot 87% for the 7 games from the free throw line, which would shame LeBron James. In his wildest dreams, he couldn't shoot 87% for a series. Okay, so what did I tell you all year? I told you again and again, and you made one good point. When Kawhi was a Spur, he was the 4th wheel. He wasn't even the 2nd wheel or the 3rd. He was the 4th wheel. And how he won the MVP of that 2014 finals when my team blew LeBron and company off the floor in 5 games, I don't know, because you could have flipped a coin and you could have come up with any of the 4 stars in San Antonio, but they chose him for, I guess, because of the defense that he played on LeBron. But to your point, LeBron still put up numbers just in games. It would be 2, 3, 4, and 5. He did pretty well on LeBron, and LeBron was pretty quiet, especially in the 2 games in Miami, which were games 3 and 4. Okay, so the point was he goes to Toronto. To your point, nobody expected much. They have a really good team because Siakam played much better last year as the the second star. And obviously Kyle Lowry and Van Vliet, you talk about dogs, mentally tough dogs. Okay, so the point was, yeah, he won another Finals MVP. But I told you all year, he's not the closer of the Clippers. I don't know how many times I have to tell you, Lou Williams was the closer. And help me out. Did Lou Williams even want to go to the bubble in the first place? He did not. He almost opted out of the bubble, and at the last minute, somehow
he opted out mentally. He was there physically.
He opted out mentally. And then, I'm not saying he made it an excuse, but he took a little excursion to Atlanta because he wanted to go honor a father figure of his in Atlanta. So he went to the service, and then we all know he went lemon pepper Lou, went to Magic City, and it was a bad look for the Clippers. And I said at that point, this is not a united basketball team because nobody seemed to want to be in the bubble. Pat Bev took his break and then had to quarantine, and then he had an injury, right? And Trez took a long break, obviously his grandmother. But he stayed out for a long time and missed all the exhibition games and the seeding games, and then he had to try to play his way into shape. And yet, in the end, it was about Lou Williams. Guess what Lou Williams shot for this series from the three-point line? He shot 4 of 27. Do the math. That's 15% of his threes. I told you, the guy I used to know and love last year, he was the guy who would have ended these games. Games 5, 6, and 7. In the 3rd or the 4th quarter, he would have just said, no, get out of my way, I got this. And he'd have a salvo of 15 straight points. You've seen it 100 times.
I have, but Skip, but don't you think that's odd? A team with 2 superstars, and you have a guy coming off the bench, and he's your closer. You got Kawhi Leonard, who's a 2-time Finals MVP. You got Paul George, who's an All-NBA player, a multiple-time All-Star, and you're asking a guy that comes off the bench to be the closer. You don't find anything wrong with that?
How many times he won 6th Man of the Year? 3 times. So he is the team's closer, and they kept looking to him, and there was nothing there. So look at the 3 straight 4th quarters. Where was Lou Williams in those 3 4th quarters? Nowhere to be found. He took 7 total shots in 3 straight 4th quarters. I kept saying, go, do it, give him the ball, let him operate.
No. I'm not going to let you put that on Lou. Because there were 3 4th quarters in which Kawhi Leonard, he had 0 points last night. He had 2 points another night. 3 points.
No, wrong.
In the 4th quarter? Go ahead.
I'm talking about these 3 closeout games in the 4th quarter. Kawhi was really good because in Game 5 last Friday night, Kawhi scored 13 points in the 4th quarter. That'll work. Made all of his free throws, made 3 of 5 threes. And they still got blown off the floor 38-25 because Denver made 7 of 9 threes. Game 6, another closeout game. Kawhi was pretty good in the 4th quarter. He scored 9 points. And again, Denver made 7 of 9 threes. It's hard to overcome that, and they got blown off the floor.
No, that's not what you said, Skip. Hold on. Just a second. It's hard to overcome that. But you didn't say that when the Rockets made 7 of 9 threes and made that run on the Lakers. You didn't say anything about it's hard to overcome.
The Rockets lost a key piece to their puzzle. You know it, and I know it. Daniel House, and that thing was over.
Will Barton is not playing for the Nuggets.
Lou Williams, in 3 straight closeout 4th quarters, was 3 of 7. Not terrible, but that's a grand total of 7 points he scored. He just wasn't shooting. He wasn't part of the action. every play started with Kawhi. And I kept telling you, I first guessed this, I told you again and again, they have dangerously declined on offense because it's all about flip it to Kawhi on the wing, let him go against two. They doubled him every time, let him try to dribble. Maybe he can beat it, maybe he can get it in the lane. And what was the weapon that I always said that he had second only to Michael Jordan's mid-range jump shot? Did you see him take or make any last night?
No.
He quit shooting them. I don't know why. If you can explain it to me, you're way beyond me.
Because
the ultimate weapon he did not utilize.
Because, Skip, it wasn't falling. What I saw last night was a guy crying every time he shot a shot. He was flailing. Like Pat Bev says about Yoke, that's what every time he shot the ball. Tell me one time in which Kawhi shot the ball that he didn't think he got fouled. He's got his hands up in there. He's looking at the official. Skip, do you remember Game 3? Mm-hmm. They won a game in which Kawhi Leonard had 3 points in the fourth quarter. So you kept giving me these numbers. He had this many points and this many.
Well, he did. In the first 2 closeout games, he was really good. Last night, he was pathetic.
Let me ask you this. When you needed buckets, could Kawhi Leonard give you those buckets?
I told you he wasn't the closer of this team.
No. The best player in the world's got to be the closer.
And remember, in the first 2 closeout fourth quarters, Game 5 and Game 6, they went in up 7 the first one and up 2. And he was really good because he had a lead to try to get home.
And what happened?
He was doing the best he could. You can't blame him for those
Yes, you
two.
can. That's what we do.
Last night, they were already done going to the fourth quarter. They were down 8, and you could see the handwriting all over the Orlando wall.
I text Steve, my great producer, me and him was talking.
Yeah.
I said, it's over. In a game of this magnitude, Skip, this is what makes football so unique, is that the underdog, the longer you go in the game and the closer he stays to the team that's the favorite, the more the team that's favored starts to tighten up because they're not supposed to be in this situation. You saw that last night. The farther this game got into the third quarter, into the fourth quarter, and the Clippers realized they were far too deep, they couldn't swim back to shore, and then all of a sudden, everything was clanked. Paul George shooting balls off the side of the backboard.
Terrible.
Kawhi Leonard airballing shots, and Yoke and Murray just kicking, just cooking. They kept up, think about this, they double Yoke almost every time. They said, we're not going to make you a scorer, we're going to make you a facilitator. He said, okay.
Okay.
Don't look over you, take that.
That guy, you can have your Luka. That guy's the closest thing to Larry Bird we've seen since Larry Bird. That guy, the Joker, turned unbelievably the vaunted Clippers defense into a joke. He shredded it at every turn. In fact, last night he only scored, 16 points? But look what he had. 22 rebounds and 13 assists.
They made him into an
And he had 3 block shots. And I thought his rim protection, especially on Kawhi last night, was superlative. He just took the lane away from Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah. Now, I want you to say it, and I want everybody to say, because Kawhi Leonard should be held to the same standard. If this was LeBron.
So you're saying Kawhi is equal to LeBron? Is that
He's
what you're
never
saying?
been. He's never been.
Then why would we hold him the same?
But hold on. But y'all been doing it for the longest. You said he was better. Did you not say he was better?
Y'all me.
Hold on. You've never said Kawhi Leonard is a better player in the last 2 years than LeBron James. You've never said that.
3 years ago, I said he had become the best two-way player in basketball.
So you did not.
But obviously, offensively, he can't even sniff LeBron's category.
No. So you've never said in the last year and a half that Kawhi Leonard is a better player than LeBron James.
I have said one man is a better player than LeBron James, and his name is Kevin Durant, and he's not playing.
Hey.
Yeah.
I need you to do this, Internet. I need you to get them detectives on this. Get this out. I need you to
two-way. I've said two-way. No,
two-way. No, this is one way.
I have consistently told you the best player on the planet is Kevin Durant. And I stand by that right now.
There are a lot of analysts, and they know who they are. They're on the other network, and all of them play basketball. There's a lot of them on TNT, and there's some on the NBA network that said Kawhi Leonard is better than LeBron. Kawhi Leonard should get the same praise. And if he wins this title, he should be in the GOAT conversation. Well, I want him to be in the conversation for gag, because other great players that have had playoffs like this, they've eviscerated them. I remember Magic Johnson, they gave him the nickname Tragic because of what he did in '84. You remember it. You probably was covering the series.
So he had one bad fourth quarter and it happened to be in Game 7, and he should be eviscerated for that? That's
What you mean
you're
one
saying?
game? Skip, he had a 3-1 lead. What great superstars you know have 3-1 lead? Name the superstar that's had a 3-1 lead and gagged it.
13 in the fourth quarter of Game 5 and 9 in the fourth quarter of Game 6. That'll work.
Hold on.
That'll get you home.
No, hold on. I thought it was about winning. When LeBron James gives you these virtuosos and he lose, you don't say nothing.
What was the only team who voted as a team to opt out of the whole thing after the Kenosha shooting?
We did.
No, you didn't.
We did.
Your superstar, your quote-unquote best player on the planet said, I don't want to leave. I got too good a shot.
What did he do?
Yeah.
They was up there talking. He said, I'm bouncing. Let's go.
All right.
Clippers said no. And I got one last point to your Doc point. I was very disappointed in a coach that I love because he just too much sat back and folded his arms and said, they'll figure it out. And they never figured it out because I'm not sure Doc could figure out what was happening because he would see such long stretches of dominance and then he wouldn't go desperate and push a button or do something strategically or psychologically to flip the script because Denver flipped it every time and Mike Malone did out-coach Doc Rivers.
Call it what it
whole
is.
different discussion that we need more time for, and I'm sure we'll
we
get
gonna
back
have
to
to
it, guys.
Jenny.
We're going to talk Clippers, we're going to talk Lakers, we're going to talk Kawhi and that commercial that's not going to age well.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.